He said, Kellyanne, Putin was responsible for the death of Navalny. We didn't hear that specifically from President Trump the other night. He said that he felt like he could sympathize with Navalny and the pressure that he's under based on the attacks that he has also felt in this country. But should he take a stronger stance against Putin and his role in this?
Well, he certainly has been the strongest against Putin. Vladimir Putin annexes sovereign nations, Crimea 2014, or invades sovereign nations, Ukraine 2022, when Joe Biden is in the White House, not when Donald Trump is. He senses weakness.
Okay, Donald Trump, toughest against Putin. That is what Kellyanne Conway, who clearly wants another job in the White House, is going to say. And bear in mind, she's responding to the fact that the host is pointing out that he literally still, to this day, has not mentioned Putin's role in the death of Alexei Navalny. He's so utterly weak when it comes to Vladimir Putin that he won't even say the guy's name. Like he thinks he's like the Candyman or Beetlejuice or something. Don't get excited, Lauren Boebert. But she was making a case that historically he's stronger when it comes to Putin. Is that the case though? Here's a little walk down memory lane.
Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. You got to say that's pretty savvy.
It's not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the real problem is that our leaders are dumb.
One of the presidents of a big country stood up and said, well, sir, if we don't pay and we're attacked by Russia, will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay. This time, the greatest threat is not from the outside of our country. I really believe this. It's from within. It's the people from within our country that are more dangerous than the people outside. We can handle China. We can handle Russia.
Yeah, so in every case, he's doing what Tucker Carlson now does, which is let Putin do whatever he wants, invade wherever he wants, kill whoever he wants, his political opposition, people in the countries that he's invaded, massive war crimes. We're not gonna do literally anything about that. In fact, I'll encourage him to do that, but somehow that makes me tough on him. I understand that I'm doing literally everything that Vladimir Putin would want me to do if he were in direct control of my actions, but still, toughness, somehow.
Before we continue with the story, we depend on members to keep on going. Don't wait, click join now on YouTube.
Right, what do you think?
No, Trump is not tough on Putin. Trump definitely doesn't understand international relations enough to take a smart position on it. So he vaguely goes with his instincts, and his instinct is that people in his party do not want to intervene. America first. We care about America before we care about anything else. And then there's a bunch, I guarantee you there's a bunch of Russian bots out there that have been able to slightly, though not exclusively, convince everyone that Putin's like fine on their side. And those two things vaguely get into Trump's mind. And he's like, I don't know, the Democrats seem to hate Putin right now, so I can't hate Putin also. I'm gonna say some vague stuff that makes him just, I don't know, seem smart. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm gonna unlock a lot of the calculus of international relations for people, okay? There is a club. There's a club out there called former empires and current empires. And there is a little something in those former empires that the new leaders of those empires are kind of tasked with. And that thing is to overtake the world again. And in Italy, there's a little of that. They're like, I don't know, we used to be big, but like they're like, you know, but like a lot of the countries, there's a little thing that when you talk to people from there, they're like, yeah, we used to rule this damn world. And so that is the most apparent, and that comes and goes throughout history, but that is most apparent right now in Vladimir Putin. He wants Russia to be the Rus and just kill everyone everywhere until he conquers everything. And that's his goal. And whether Trump's nice to him or mean to him, that's not gonna change his goal. Whether America intervenes or doesn't, that's not going to change his goal. That's always going to be his goal. And it takes a tactician, a diplomat, a strategist to be able to stop him from doing that. And I don't think Donald Trump's that guy. And I can't imagine someone who thinks he or someone like Tucker Carlson is going to be the brilliant tactician strategist who fixes the world on behalf of America.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, and look, I don't know to what extent Kellyanne Conway understands literally any of that. She goes on Fox News to say that Trump is good. The exact same thing she did when she had a literal job to do that. She wants the job back. It means nothing. I mean, look, we're gonna run through an example, a comparison of toughness. First of all, I just want to remind you, Donald Trump's only comment about Navalny so far is he used it to talk about his legal troubles on Truth Social. And then when he was asked about it by Laura Ingraham, he says that the civil fraud trial judgment is a form of Navalny. That's it. Nothing else. Nothing about poisoning. Nothing about the imprisonment. About Putin. About nothing. But honestly, he's not the only utter coward who refused to identify what actually happened. Marjorie Greene was asked if Putin was responsible for Navalny's death, and she said, "I don't know. I really could care less. I'm honestly not interested in that discussion," saying she only wanted to answer questions about the United States. And Laura Trump asked about it, said she didn't know enough to comment on that, which maybe that's just honest, I don't know. But yeah, they can't identify what is indisputable at this point. But when it comes to toughness, let's talk about toughness through the point of view of sanctions. So you have Donald Trump, who is president. You have Joe Biden, who is president right now. Donald Trump signed Russian sanctions. He kind of had to. They'd been passed by Congress. He theoretically, I guess, could have vetoed it. Might have made him look really bad if they've overridden his veto. So he signed it while criticizing it and saying that that makes things tougher for him as president. So in the one case where he signed these sanctions, and by the way, the fact that he signed those sanctions was often used by defenders of Donald Trump to be like, that's proof that there's nothing going on with Russia, when he clearly didn't want to, and he criticized it at the time. Whereas Joe Biden earlier today announced more than 500 sanctions to punish Russia after the death of Navalny. And so I don't see Biden desperately trying to stop that. I don't see Biden criticizing it. Joe Biden is critical of Vladimir Putin because Vladimir Putin definitely did it. And not just Navalny, so many people, protesters, tons of people being killed, not through the Novichok or whatever, but by being taken and shipped to Ukraine to die in the meat grinder that he set up there. So thankfully, there is someone who is at least financially standing up to this dictator, and that in this case is Joe Biden. Sorry, Kellyanne Conway. Quick final comment.
No, that's it. No, I got it. That's basically everything I wanted to say about that.
Apologies.
And the other thing is, I mean, last thing is like, Navalny wasn't dope. But you can't kill your guy that's running against you.
Well, yeah, and look, we don't have to agree with everything that a person stood for to know that some of what he stood for was trying to provide some sort of inspiration and hope for people who don't want Russia to be a dictatorship. And he willingly went back there, knowing on some level that it could likely result in his death. And it did. And that is a level of commitment to whatever values that are there that virtually no one in elected office in America possesses.
Yeah. And the Trump side is essentially trying to, this is the one of the narratives that's come out that I agree with, is the Trump side is just trying to prime us for like dictator okay.
That's all. That's literally Tucker Carlson's mission statement for his show is, what do I have to say to get all of you to be okay with a dictator in America? That's it.